Thank you so much for clicking on this video. This is part 4 and the last video of this series, so make sure you watch the previous videos as well. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel with the notification bell on so that you can stay updated. Despite the glories in the shortest formats of the game, the Indian team was still struggling to assert the same level of dominance in cricket's oldest format, Tests. The next big challenge for Dhoni's young guns was an overseas tour to Australia for the prestigious Border Gavaskar Trophy. A young Virat Kohli was selected to lead the team for the first test as Dhoni was injured. India lost the match by 48 runs, with Dhoni returning to lead the side for the next game. The performance of the team was so bad in the following two tests that Dhoni stepped down as captain and retired from Test cricket, handing the reins over to Virat Kohli. Australia ended up winning the 4-match series 2-0, with India's only bright spark being Virat Kohli's performance with the bat. Kohli's total of 692 runs was the most by any Indian batsman in a Test series in Australia. He also became the first batsman in Test cricket history to score 3 centuries in his first 3 innings as a Test captain. India had found herself a captain for the future, an aggressive character who wears his heart on his sleeve with a single-minded devotion to winning and staying on top of the game that had almost never before been seen in Indian cricket. With his impeccable scoring record and the emergence of young talent all around, India moved to the top of the ICC Test rankings in October 2016 and managed to stay there until April 2020. India was on top of the cricketing world again, dominating teams around the world and in all formats. Under Kohli, India was no longer a batting-centric team. A case could be made that Dhoni ushered in an era which placed importance on fielding. But under Kohli, India was terrorizing opponents with the ball. The pace battery of Bumrah, Ishant, Shami and Bhuvaneshwar Kumar were lethal home and away. India also registered their 500th win in one-day internationals when Australia were beaten at Nagpur in 2019, becoming only the second team after the Aussies to do so. The Indian team won the most ODIs in the decade too, winning 157 out of 249 matches played between 2010 and 2019. The dominance was evident. However, there was still one major hurdle to get past in order to cement a legacy. Australia. The majority of the players in the team left home in August 2020 to enter the bio-bubble of their respective IPL franchises. The new restrictions placed upon not only the sport but the entire world by the virus meant it was going to be a long road ahead. From the IPL bio-bubble, the players moved to the Indian national team bubble and served their quarantine in Australia. For over 4 months, they were away from their families and loved ones before taking to the field for a high-intensity series down under. Disaster struck in the first test. India were bowled out for just 36 in the second innings, the lowest total of any Indian side in Test cricket history. This was the first instance in tests where none of the 11 batsmen or the extras crossed single figures in an innings. Following the match, Virat Kohli left the team to return home on paternity leave. Mohammad Shami suffered a fractured wrist during the collapse. Rohit Sharma and India's workhorse in tests, Ishant Sharma, were already missing due to injuries. Some of the players were even subject to racist chants and abuses. India could barely field 11 fit players by the end of the series. Never before had an Indian team been pushed to a corner like this or written off. Nobody expected anything to come of the remaining tests. But cricket had other plans. The Indians that took to the field had other plans. Stand-in skipper Ajinkya Rahane showed resolve akin to Rahul Dravid himself as he amassed a century to earn the Man of the Match award for the Boxing Day Test at the MCG. There was hope. The third test match of the series had India staring down a barrel again, with 309 runs required to win on the final day. A great partnership between Cheteshwar Pujara and Rishabh Pant was seemingly in vain as India found themselves at 5 for 272 with nearly 50 overs left to play in the day. Hanuma Vihari and Ravichandran Ashwin stitched together a match-saving partnership. Vihari could barely move after suffering a hamstring injury early on in his innings. Ashwin, who was unable to move freely and in unbelievable pain after he had tweaked his back, was subject to near-lethal assault by the Australian bowlers. Both of them showed incredible resolve to bat out the Australian bowlers and snatch a draw from the jaws of defeat for India. But neither would play the next match at the Gabba. Australia had not lost at the Gabba since 1988. No Asian team had ever won a test match at the Gabba. India could barely field 11 fit players. India's bowling unit had a grand total of 13 test wickets between them. Australia's 1,013. The Indians once again found themselves in a precarious position when they were 6 down for 186 in the first innings. It was debutant Washington Sundar combined with one test old Shardul Thakur that provided the spark for the comeback. Together, they put on 123 runs for the 7th wicket to ensure India got as close to Australia's 369 as possible. The second innings saw India being set a target of 328 to win. Newbie Shubman Gill announced himself to the world. Pujara, despite taking more blows than you'd expect a boxer to take in a championship fight, continued to prove that cricket can be more than just boundaries and sixes. Rishabh Pant showed a finishing flamboyance that all but cemented his place as Dhoni's successor behind the stumps. India beat Australia at the Gabba is what the record books will read. But it wasn't just a cricket team that was on the field. It was an entire nation. It wasn't just another victory. It was the manner of the victory, the meaning of the victory, the audacity of the victory. Time and time again, cricket has pumped every single Indian following the game with raw emotions that is unparalleled in the mundanity of day-to-day life. Maybe that's why there is a blind faith in this game and a worship of its stars. The true essence of cricket's legacy in India may never be captured with mere words. For in India, cricket is a religion and Sachin is a god. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope that you were able to live through the moments in this series and truly understand why cricket is a religion in India. Please make sure that if you enjoyed this video, you leave a like and share it with as many people as possible. And again, don't forget to subscribe to the channel with the notification bell on so that you can stay updated.